Right, mate, listen. You're causing a disturbance now.
I'm preaching,
You
sir.
are not welcome.
Because one of the 5 British values is respecting other people's faiths and religions, whether it be your own or someone else's. The fact is that you have a crowd there in Britain, a whole crowd, and there must have been about 20 or 30 people that were protesting a Christian man reading from a Christian book in a Christian country. Situation is that you actually had Muslims in the crowd that were shouting down a Christian preacher to go home. Now, imagine the scenario where you have an imam preaching in that same street and a Christian was saying exactly the same thing to that imam. I wonder if that police officer that decided to say to that Christian, by the way, that he wasn't welcome, I wonder if they would have turned around to the Christian and arrested them for a hate crime. What do you think?
Michael.
Michael what?
Michael. I don't have to give you my surname.
You do.
No.
Because I'm going to give you a dispersal notice to leave the area.
I'm not going to leave the area.
If you fail to do so, you will be arrested.
You've got to ask yourself, you've got to severely ask yourself, the education level, not only of that crowd, but also of that police officer that believed that somehow he had a right to turn around to a member of the public, someone that pays his wages, to say that that man or that woman, whoever it would have been, is not welcome in that town. What sort of ignorance would you need to have? What sort of level of ignorance would you need to have to say you are not welcome here? Because a few people are a bit upset because he's reading from a Bible? What is he reading, Mein Kampf? Or is he reading the Bible of the country, the Christian Bible, for crying out loud? And this video gets even worse. Let me show you.
Get up! Get up!
I've got a bad back, sir.
Well, get up! Get up!
You're hurting my arm. Why are you hurting my arm like this?
You've been detained.
You don't need to do this, sir.
Okay, come to the back.
You don't need to do this to me, sir.
So he takes him along the street, walking down the street, and he suggests that somehow free speech is, I don't know, it's got some issues in free speech, maybe.
Line of freedom of speech.
What is it?
Okay, but it's when you cause a disturbance, okay, that is aggravating people, antisocial behaviour which you are causing.
How are we causing it?
Because of what you're saying.
What did we say?
Angry. People were getting angry.
What did we say?
You're challenging homophobia, you're challenging Muslims.
But just saying what the Bible says.
That's fine.
Well, if it's fine, why have you arrested me?
If
it's fine, sir, why have you arrested me?
So after all of that, after all the issues that this police officer decided to bring on top of this preacher, so after all of that, that police officer had to call his office, call the main desk to ask him whether or not he should have arrested that preacher in the first place.
Can I just confirm, are there any offences, or is this guy just preaching and he's just gone over the top and he's just wound up people, agony people?
So you come and grab me and you don't know that? I don't understand that.
No, I do know what you've been saying.
The truth of this whole video is quite straightforward. The fact is that you have a crowd of people that believe that somehow they are tolerant towards minorities but are intolerant to the people of their own country. You have Muslims in that crowd, quite clearly Muslims in that crowd, that are shouting down to close down this preacher and tell him to go home. If that preacher had done exactly the same things to those Muslims, then he would have been done for a hate crime. It's a fact. It's the truth. The fact is that this police officer decided that he was going to come into this crowd, try and act like he's a big man, and turn around to this preacher and say he's not welcome. That really pissed me off. The fact is that no police officer is able to say such a thing, considering that the preacher was doing something that was both legal and lawful. Then when you get to the end of the video, of course, what happens? Well, you find out that this police officer didn't have a clue of what he was doing. In fact, he had to call his office to find out whether or not he could have arrested the preacher in the first place. And I'm really hoping that this preacher takes this police officer to court and takes them for every single penny. But not only that police officer, not only the police force, but that police officer as well. Because he was holding the office of officer police officer, and he should have known exactly what he was doing and not trying to be a hero and acting like a total twat. Whether you are a Buddhist, whether you are a Christian, whether you are a Muslim, you have every right to practice your religion just as long as you don't incite violence. It's as simple as that. Clear as water. Totally clear as water. This police officer acted above his office and he should not be an officer today. These people acted like total morons, thinking they have the right to close down free speech and close down someone's right to preach their faith. And these are the same people, I guarantee, will state that they are tolerant about all the other minorities in our country, but somehow are not tolerant of their own faith, their own country.
I can confirm that a man was arrested outside Southgate Station on the 23rd of February as a result of a complaint made by a member of the public. He was later released without charge. It's been widely reported that Mr. Elasanmi was arrested and subsequently de-arrested and released by the police at a different location some distance from the place of arrest.